And we are live. Good morning, Crypto Warriors, and welcome back to the Gentlemen of Crypto, episode 802. I'm King here today to bridge the gap between community and crypto every day, Monday through Friday at 10ish. And today's top stories, some good stuff coming in today. Coinbase to propose crypto regulations to U.S. officials, sources say. SEC chair compares stablecoins to casino poker chips. CFTC commissioner, agency doesn't have enforcement resources without Congress, and 76ers become second NBA team to ink crypto ad patch deal. And of course, today is Tuesday, September 22nd, 2021. I told myself like a year or two ago, I was gonna have to finally start doing dates once we started having multiple years of stuff. Eventually we'll have to start having to throw seasons on these things, but let's go ahead and get into the prices for the day. Let me go ahead and pull up, of course, one of our community's favorites places to go find prices and coin aggregators, and that is CoinMarketCap. Oh man, we do need to holler at them and get a sponsorship at this point. But of course, Bitcoin is coming in hot at $42,428. It's actually up. I mean, it says on the 24-hour clock is down 0.41%, but I mean, we saw a bounce down to $40,000 yesterday. I'm actually upset is at 42.4 right now. I was hoping we get down to 39.38. So I'm still crossing my fingers. This is a long week. Ethereum's at $2,956, down 1.56%. Let's see, Cardano is $2.12, down 0.59%. Ripple is at 93 cents, down, or excuse me, up 0.2%. Solana is at $131, down 4.18%. And Dogecoin is at number 10 at 21 cents, down 0.22%. So for the most part, and actually, wow, Avalanche looks like is at number 11, talking about a flippening. Terra Luna was just up there last week, and Uniswap was literally just number 9, 8, 9, and 10 for the last few months. So again, you're seeing a flipping happening right in front of you. One thing I do want to say is most of these prices, as you can see, they're only down 0.68%, 0.5, 0.4. That's because they are bouncing back from that dip yesterday. But again, it's only Tuesday. It's a long week. If you're anything like me, we are all crossing our fingers, hoping this price dips some more. So really quick shout outs today. What's going on? Timothy Grigsby, Rendo like Denzel. I can't even see the first comment. Too high. We got our little stream elements thing up there. Let's see. Level 99 Slacker, DeFi, Dior, Chemo and Crypto, DC, Lambo, Transco, LLC, Judicial Crypto, Leroy Forbes, Solar Mike, Eric Horton. What's going on? Bitcoin Vegan, BK Born, Best I Raise, Jared Myers made it for another live show. Said, I've been listening every day from the Apple Podcast. Appreciate that. Yeah, for everybody who's listening to us on Apple Podcasts or Google Podcasts, much appreciated. We do see the reviews coming in on there as well. We track all those numbers on the different podcast platforms. Spotify has been good to us as well. So iHeartRadio, thank you to all those people who listen on those platforms. Really quick, I want to go ahead and give a shout out to today's show sponsor. Of course, it's CryptoVantage.com. You can check them out at go.cryptovantage.com/gentleman-of-tap-crypto. I'm putting that link in the chat. Of course, I want to mention there's 21 more days to enter into their CryptoVantage wallet giveaway contest, where you can sign up for your chance to win a hardware wallet and $1,500, $1,000, or $500 to invest in crypto. There are 8 different ways to enter. You should already signed up for their weekly newsletter, but of course you can check out their website. Visit at the CryptoVantage on Instagram. Visit CryptoVantage on YouTube, at CryptoVantage on Twitter. Check out CryptoVantage on TikTok. Visit CryptoVantage on Facebook, or share with your friends for extra entries. Again, been a great partnership so far. They're giving out a ton of information on their website. And again, that's go.cryptovantage.com/gentleman-of-tap-crypto. 21 days left to enter for that wallet giveaway to get a chance to win $1,500, which I'm hoping a warrior claims. How cool would that be? What's going on? Crypto King, Silver Sailor, what's going on? He said when they use CMC. So yeah, so it's not us then. Yeah, hey, you guys are doing the right thing. Take it up with CMC, then we'll figure out what's up with it. A couple things I want to talk about when it comes to the price of Bitcoin. These aren't primarily top stories, but these are stories I want to cover really quick because it does have to do with buying patterns, investment strategies, so on and so forth. And of course, this is not investment advice, this is entertainment. But this one story, Fear and Greed Index, suggests Bitcoin's price is undervalued. I want to point that out because we always talk about the psychological trading chart. And right now we're at that psychological point where people are selling and not buying. They're not dollar cost averaging. People are thinking the projects are dead. I saw a headline today that said the NFT market is dead. Dead, I tell you. They say, the prices are falling flat. People are selling. I'm like, how is it a brand new market, a 2-year-old market already dead, right? Like we're going through the same thing we saw with Bitcoin, but the technical analysis tool is popular amongst crypto traders hopeful of securing an insight into the market psyche. It looks like recent data from the Crypto Fear and Greed Index indicates that the cryptocurrency market is experiencing a period of investor fear with a 3-month low score of 27 out of 100. By utilizing leading cryptocurrency asset Bitcoin as the market's representative, the seasoned technical analysis tool informs cryptocurrency traders worldwide on the current emotional sentiment and bias in the market. This data can then be used in accordance with other analytical strategies to determine the potential of a future surge or correction, and ultimately whether price levels represent an opportunity to buy or sell in the market. So here's my take on it using like a fundamental analysis for the most part. For one, if we're at the 3-month low, we're at the bottom of that psychological chart or toward the bottom. So two things are going to happen. For one, it is going to bounce like we are at the low, it looks like. But the second thing, which couldn't be the first thing, we could dip a little lower, right? We can go down back to the 27s, and I don't think we'll go that low, but let's just say we could test 25 to 27 or whatever, right? This is essentially lows, which we just recently did. And then you're getting a score after we just tested a $27,000 Bitcoin price, I think maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. So maybe a little bit, like 2.5 weeks ago. So right now we're at the low. So psychologically, this is the time you should be buying and stacking up as much as you can, because if this is the 3-month low, you're essentially saying to yourself, in another 3 months, we will be higher than this. Or are you betting, and again, this is from a fundamental look, are you betting that right now we're at a 3-month low, in another 3 months we'll go even lower? So it'll be 6 months of lows. I don't think that's going to happen, especially going into the fourth quarter. You're talking about trying to unload tax burdens off companies, holidays, trips. Like there's so much going on. The market always is very volatile during the Thanksgiving periods all the way until after Christmas, and then leading up to the New Year's. Since I've been in the market almost every year leading up to the New Year's, I've seen the price surge, at least going into the first to the third, of course, for Bitcoin's birthday. So again, I want to point that out because we are at the 3-month low. This may be the low. This may be the low right here before we take off again. And then here's the thing. The next time we surge, if it does go past 100, it's going to be very difficult. Again, I think after the first 100, the first time we go past 100K, we will see a 15 to 20% dip to maybe 80K, 85K, like literally overnight, almost like a flash crash, if you will. And that may even make people go crazy and sell it down to 74, right? But as far as seeing it lower than that, once it crosses that threshold, it's going to be very difficult. And the reason being is because once it crosses a threshold of 100K, for one, there are going to be new people to believe in it that will never sell. And then also, it gets closer to the day of the halving. I keep talking about it. Going into the new year, 2022, if Bitcoin does surge past 100K, in 2 more years, there will be a halving. The price is not going down. It will continue to just rocket up. So something to think about. Again, that psychological fear and greed index, which is showing that, let me see if I can actually pull up this psychological trading chart for those who've never seen it, so you can kind of see an idea of what I'm saying live. All right. And the second thing I want to talk about, we mentioned it yesterday, but again, it popped up in the stories today. But Commodity Strategist predicts Bitcoin ETF could get the nod in the US next month. The only reason I'm bringing this up is because it was a Bloomberg intelligence commodity strategist, Mike McGlone. And I give props to Bloomberg. They do a pretty good job as far as knowing what's going on the inside track, things we wouldn't know, right? This thing is going on with Wall Street, with regulators, like they have those connections. So they believe it may happen, but the reason they believe it may happen is because of the competition from Canada. Of course, everybody's been talking about Canada, where McGlone asserted that Canada is extending a competitive lead over the US after approving Bitcoin ETFs from 3iQ and CoinShares in April. Now, he's emphasizing this capital flow from the US to Canada should be enough to get lawmakers in the US to make a Bitcoin ETF so they won't miss out. Now, again, I'm going to call it out for what it is. If the US this year gets a Bitcoin ETF, it is corruption written all over it. Now, him pointing this out, if we do get an ETF, he knows what's going on. He's using this as his cop out, saying, well, no, we didn't want to lose a competitive advantage. Like, this makes sense as something to say. But realistically, we've been losing the competitive advantage in the crypto space like since we started. I mean, New York has the bit license. They only gave it to 12 or 13 companies. We've been pushing innovators out of the space in the United States. So I'm not believing lawmakers will suddenly pass something just to get a competitive advantage with Canada. I think if they do pass it, that might be the excuse. But realistically, it's going to be like behind the scenes, they're already working with the company. But the point is between the commodity talk of ETFs, which I don't think will happen, but between ETFs talk and then the psychological trading chart, essentially being at the bottom this last 3 months, the lowest score of the last 3 months. I'm about to bring that chart up. Essentially, I'm saying these are all bullish signals. So everybody's worried about the market. I think we're in great shape. So essentially where we're at right now, I would almost say we're in this area. For some people, we're at depression. We're just at a dip. Call it whichever one you want. You want to do the depression dip. You want to do the panic dip, the anxiety dip, or the hope dip. We're probably just at hope right now. Disbelief and hope for some people. But the good thing is that optimism, belief, and thrill is next, right? Seriously, these psychological trading charts say a lot. For whatever reason, people always buy at the top. I mean, literally a week or so ago when Solana was at its high, Cardano was at its high. All these coins are at its high. The euphoria was just there, and people were buying at the top. $55,000 Bitcoin, we back in business, right? And now that is low, people are in disbelief. So trade opposite of those trading cycles. And then also, we can always see the sentiment of what's going on in the market as well, just from the views. You can look at some of our daily video views when the price of Bitcoin is high. Some of our daily videos go 3 to 5K views. And then when the price of Bitcoin is lower, the sentiment in the market is low. Look at our videos. And right now we might have like 1,000 to 1,500 per video. So we kind of see the same type of market sentiment on the YouTube side of things as well. Let's see. Wayne Hill said, that's why I watch Bloomberg TV. Same. I've always been a fan of Bloomberg. They've done a pretty good job of staying objective. I hope they continue to stay objective. But yeah, I agree. I think they do a really good job when it comes to financial markets for sure. Garrett Myers, you think Taproot is the real Ethereum killer? Great point. Kadeem K said Taproot would probably end up being a privacy coin killer. Yeah, it's more of a privacy coin killer than an Ethereum killer. Pat and M, we are no longer on Talk Shop Live right now, so we'll see what happens. Right now, we're doing our every other week on Fridays right now, so you can just check us out here on YouTube still. Roland Wisher said a 7K flash dump LMAO. Exactly, it's not bad, right? Yes. Antonio said next couple of months is going to be insane. Hope you guys are stacking sats. Keep drumming. Thank you for the tipping, because I'm going to retire fourth quarter this year. For those that didn't know, I low-key had been on a mini retirement the last 3 years. I really just got started back to work. But yeah, I feel you. I told myself I would no longer take another mini retirement. But Q4 could, get people in that stage. All right, let's talk about the top stories of the day now. Again, I just wanted to talk Bitcoin price with you all. Again, that's the type of stuff we do talk on our every other week show, which was Talk Shop Live. Of course, we're doing on Sundays. We get more into that, to the weeds of that, but I just wanted to share that today because I thought it was pretty important. Top story of the day: Coinbase to propose crypto regulations to U.S. officials, says sources. Coinbase is said to be working on a pitch to federal regulators on how to oversee the crypto industry. Oh my goodness! Like, listen. People, what more do you need to know from Coinbase at this point? Again, for people who like, I guess, to mitigate risk and play by the unfair rules and whatever, go toward Coinbase. But I don't even know what to say about this story. So I guess every YouTuber and private company in crypto should also do a list of proposed regulations. My only list would be to really regulate these centralized sources. I think they are on the right track when it comes to these exchanges and stuff like Coinbase, because places like Coinbase, for some reason, think they should be the ones unrolling rules and telling everybody what to do. Again, this was the same company, a part of the New York agreement in 2017, May 2017, where they tried to fork Bitcoin. It was like Coinbase and 50 other companies tried to fork Bitcoin off into their own private corporate chain to control all the Bitcoin. This is the company that tried to do this. Brian Armstrong was behind that, a part of that. And now essentially they're trying to control all the regulations. Why, you ask? To eliminate competition and to control the market. Again, from Brian Armstrong and from a businessman's point of view, I am with it. I'm not mad at you. Hand clap, way to try to snake your way up in there. But I already told you you're not gang. So I don't know why you're trying to do a list of proposed, right? Like, this is what I mean by the capitulation of these companies and these professionals. Everyone keeps coming to crypto, want to mitigate risk, want to try to work with regulators and work with government. As I keep telling you, they have a 100-year plan. The plan for government, especially in the United States, but it's really most governments on the planet, is to grow government federally, to get bigger federally every year. That's why no matter what president you vote for, the bombings continue, the wars continue, the bankers, like this shit continues, because the job of the federal government is to grow and get more control. They've been doing a pretty good job of that here in the United States. Brian Armstrong, for some reason, thought that he could play by the gang's rules, he could snuggle up with them and be cool with them, and then he got a pass. He found out very abruptly that wasn't going to be the case when, of course, the SEC said, we will sue your ass if you put out a lending program, boy. What do you think you do? Hey, what? You thought you was doing stuff on your own? No, you do what we tell you to do. And he's not understanding that. So his rebuttal is, hey guys, what if I make some rules we can all play by? They about to ball them up and throw them right back at your forehead, bro. Like, no, you don't. You still don't understand how gangs operate. This is hilarious to me. You don't join a gang and then go to the gang boss and say, I got some new rules and changes I want to make this thing a little bit better. Like, no, who do you think you are? If you would have fought that lending thing like Mark Cuban suggested you do, even Reggie Middleton, if you would have fought that and been in court right now, or if you even won, all ears. You have room to speak. You took the SEC to court. You stood on your own too. You fought, whatever. But at this point, I'd rather listen to rules and regulations coming from Ripple. I literally rather listen to them coming from XRP speaking for the entire community than I would Coinbase, because at least XRP is fighting back. They are saying that, hey, our project is not security. We're not doing anything wrong. We're moving forward, whether it's here in the US or internationally, because we believe in what we're doing. We think we're doing right. I'm okay with that message. You know what? Yeah, speak for the entire crypto community. But Brian Armstrong, you are just like laying down and turning over every time one of these regulators call for you. And the craziest part about it is you're a multi-billionaire. Like, oh man, I would hate to be around you and you was broke. I know you're a snake, bro. Like, you probably snaking people left and right. But again, we're talking about crypto exchange Coinbase, which is preparing to pitch a proposed regulatory framework to federal officials. And you want me to tell you another reason why I know, which they don't have any reason to. I mean, Coinbase is very centralized, but this is why people like Brian Armstrong and those working at Coinbase have strayed away from the community of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency and the inherent principles of things like decentralization and distributed technology and open source technology. It's because he's proposing to pitch a regulatory framework to federal officials without reaching out to the community. Point blank, period. Did Coinbase, with all its customer emails and customer data, did they send everyone an email and say, hey, we're planning on doing this? What are your thoughts? Here's 3 questions, multiple choice, click a bubble, what best describes this for you? What rules would you want to see in the crypto market between A to B, A to C, or whatever? There was no reaching out to community. There was no consensus. And that's where companies and people like Brian Armstrong and Coinbase keep getting wrong. And that's why we keep telling you all to stay away from them. Because if you think for 1 minute, if Coinbase saw itself, I mean, I would say right now, the chances are a lot less likely to happen because they're public. But while they were a private company, if they were to just up and disappear with everyone crypto, like that would be a company I could see doing it, because there would be no recourse, and they've already showed you the disregard they have for you as a customer. There's no support. He does things like try to fork Bitcoin at the infamous New York agreement in a hotel in New York in May of 2017. He's proposing rules and laws to federal officials for everyone without even speaking to people in the community. Like, this is very draconian. It's unfortunate to see it coming from Brian Armstrong from Coinbase, but hey, I'm not mad at him. I really actually get what he's really doing. It's what I think. I think he's playing a long game, which is becoming a regulator or a governor or something in government. And the best way to do that is to work with them, to create these frameworks and rules. And so you can say, as a private citizen, as a company owner, while I was wealthy, I still helped give back to the American people by creating this regulatory framework for them to go off in the crypto space. And that's why I should be the next Fed chair. That's why I should be the next whatever, treasurer of the United States. I don't know the little positions anymore. I stopped paying attention after I graduated my poli-sci degree. But essentially, that's what's happening. Again, Coinbase is trying to set precedent. But again, to counter that, I say maybe the gentleman of crypto needs to do it. Every community out there needs to do it. Like I said, I'm going to have probably two rules. One, community individual members and smaller companies should only go off self-regulation. And two, if there's any regulation, fine, go for the companies over 100 mil, go for the Coinbases, go for all those guys, but don't try to come after the smaller ones. That was my 2 cents. Let's go ahead and look at some of these comments right here. Let's see. Alec G said cuck base. Exactly. Fatima Boy said, where's the lie? PFC Will said, bro, the timing of how these articles are coming out is so laughable. It really is, because it makes our job so easier, the way we can just segue from article to article. It's like, we're not even writing a storyline. It's literally making it as easy as possible for us to do their job. Roland Wisher said they lost their leverage. Exactly. If you were going to provide a regulatory framework, you should have did it the morning of that direct listing. When you were at $100 billion, and I even said it, if you watch those shows leading up to it, the last couple of days, I said, give it 24 to 72 hours and see the valuation. And that shit dropped from 100 billion to 80 billion to damn near 60 to 40 or something crazy like that. So they should have put this regulatory framework out the day they had $100 billion valuation. That's how you get everyone to listen. You don't do it after your valuation slips. Then you try to start a new program and you get threatened by the government and you fold. And then you say, all right, guys, I got some rules we can play by. Again, that's not the way gangs work, kid. I'm sorry. In this case, I'm sorry you might have grew up in a good neighborhood. You didn't learn these lessons, but this is not the way these guys operate at all. Yes, Antonio, I'm with you. Brian Armstrong is moving like the devilish group that created the Fed in the 1900s. I got those same type of vibes when I first saw the headline. I was like, all right, Monster on Jekyll Island. Like, I'm seeing you right now. Yeah, definitely. Prez said crypto was invented to avoid this exact thing. Exactly. Shout out to all our LinkedIn listeners. I will say one of our fellow LinkedIn folks, it was actually the third person who mentioned taxes to me. And I get it, coming from that crowd is more of a professional crowd versus like messages and things you might get from Instagram or Twitter or email. It's a different crowd. But one of the things I tell some of the people on LinkedIn whenever they ask me about taxes, I'm like, you're asking me about stuff that crypto was invented to, I won't say circumvent, but just to give you the option on how you're going to move forward and maneuver with it. So it's one of those things where like, I didn't get into crypto to keep going backwards. And things like what Brian Armstrong is doing, like, hey guys, I got some ideas of laws around crypto. Is like, no, the point of Bitcoin specifically, I won't even say crypto. The point of Bitcoin is that there are no barriers to financial inclusion. Or as we've had people say on here, it gives you, you're in charge of your own value, gives you your value property rights. It's a protocol for internet, whatever you want to call it, whatever you view it as, technology, whatever. It was made so that everybody on the planet can be included. And no human being could cancel someone out of financial inclusion. That is one of the main points of Bitcoin. Everyone can be included in the financial market. Everybody can be their own bank. They don't need another human being to say, you're allowed to bank here. You're allowed to have a bank account. You're allowed to have money. So that's the point of Bitcoin in of itself. Everything outside that purview, I do not agree with. So when it comes to regulating this, I do not agree with it because it wasn't created to be regulated. It was created to be the internet of money. And just like the internet, at least outside of China and North Korea, you can go on and search any website for the most part. That's the way Bitcoin should be. You can send and receive however much to whoever you want to without people trying to figure out why and how and who you did it. Bitcoin Benito, thank you for the tip. I also noticed the views on my Bitcoin Benito channel. Shameless plug. Oh, we all about the plug, man. It's all good. Goes down with sentiment. Markets are 100% emotional. Shaking my head. Hey, listen, feel free to super chat your shield or your plug, folks. We do not care. Honestly, to me, it's actually a better deal than coming to us for ads sometimes. So we're not even mad at it. I mean, hey, do your thing. Let's see. Yo, mama say, I want to see y'all get huge. I want the people to have actual crypto news. I think y'all need to leave a little money on the table. Give out some altcoin tips in order to inform everyone. Yeah, we do a lot of altcoin tips actually. We don't do them on the Monday through Friday channel as much any longer, but no, we do all that stuff. And quiet is kept. We do got some things working in the background. They might not happen this year, but Jim and the crypto are going to be fine, which is why we are not in the sprint. We know we're running a marathon. It's all good. All right, that was a top story. I had to cover that for a while, but with the top story, like I said, a perfect segue. SEC chair compares stable coins to casino poker chips. We got a lot of casinos here in the Wild West. And the poker chip is these stable coins at the casino gaming tables, says none other than Gary Gensler, aka Mr. Burns. Shout out Mr. Burns, no disrespect. United States Securities and Commission, or SEC, Chair Gary Gensler has doubled down on his Wild West analogy for cryptocurrencies, calling stablecoins instruments for gambling at old-timey casinos. Speaking to Washington Post columnist David Ignatius on Tuesday, Gensler said most projects in the crypto space dealt with securities that fall under the regulatory purview of the SEC, while the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, or CFTC, was better suited for enforcement for others. The SEC chair described the authority of both agencies as robust, but said there were gaps in the coverage, particularly for stablecoins, which may have attributes of investment contracts. Quote, stablecoins are acting like poker chips at the casino right now, said Gensler. We got a lot of casinos here in the Wild West, and the poker chip is these stablecoins at the casino gaming tables. Now, one thing I do want to say is that they keep mentioning the word crypto space. They've already basically given up on the war on Bitcoin because, as I put in the title, like they've realized they're losing that war. That the war's been lost. You know why the war is lost? Because, as I said, it's open source technology. So just because you, whoever you are out there, maybe listening for the first time or whatever, your friend or family, just because they're or you are uneducated about Bitcoin doesn't mean it doesn't work. Same way as I love to compare it to the music market. Just because you pay for iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, whatever, Google Music, just because you pay for it does not mean the technology for you to download a song for free does not exist. It exists and it's proliferated. It's everywhere. I always talk about it. You can do YouTube to MP3 browsers, and you click that Google YouTube to MP3 download and see how many free in-browser things come up to download songs. The technology is there. People just have chosen to use Spotify, iHeart, whatever, which I'm happy so the artists can get paid, right? However, the technology is there. So when you talk about Bitcoin, specifically Bitcoin, it's almost as laughable to me. The technology is there. There is no stopping it. There is no stopping anyone can open up a tablet, a phone, or a laptop and download that software and have their own bank. There is no stopping that. So they've given up on that because they know that war is over, which is why now they say crypto. They say crypto, cryptocurrency, crypto space. It's crypto, crypto, crypto. It is no longer Bitcoin, Bitcoin, Bitcoin. It's crypto, right? So I want to point that out. So Bitcoin is going to be just fine. That's why it's going to be the granddaddy of them all for a long time to come, because even the government is giving up with them. But the second thing I want to talk about is that the SEC, them calling the poker chips, them calling stable coins poker chips, shows me that they're going to change directions. They're not going to go after every platform and protocol, or more importantly, each individual, especially retail investors out there, the mom and pops, the people playing like, let's say less than 100K, right? Less than 150K. I don't think they're going to go after those people because this is going to be too many people. This is going to be too many. And then for the people that they're probably really going to go after that's making a lot of money, a lot of those people have already began to move. They're moving out of the United States. They're protecting their money. No one's like stupid. They're going to keep, if it's between I have to live in the United States and get 40% to 60% of my wealth taken from me, or I'm going to move to a very close country and travel back whenever I want to and keep an extra 60%. I mean, it's no brainer. But I want to point out the stablecoin things because they're going to go after these stablecoin bosses, right? Everyone involved in the stablecoin market, they're going to go after, as they should. You want to regulate something, this is what you regulate. Like, for the most part, stablecoins, I think, will be the onboarding and offboarding from fiat to crypto in the foreseeable future, probably the next 3 to 5 years, right? I think the government can make a lot of money going after them, even to the extent where they won't have to tax people, if you do it the proper way. And the reason why is because if you do allow stablecoins to proliferate, we go all crypto, we do a Fed coin, blah, blah, blah. All this is going to happen as this all matures, as it should happen. Because again, I'm still not understanding why bank transactions and transfers and stuff take 2 to 3 days or 5 to 7 days. Like that makes no sense with this technology. But as all this stuff happens, which I'm with happening, they are going to probably regulate stablecoin operators, exchange operators, all those big bases, all those big centralized spots where a lot of money comes and goes. So I think that's going to happen. I think this is them signaling that, hey, if you do anything with a stablecoin, you need to be paying the government. So I'm happy to actually see that happening because, again, stablecoins are more crypto ancillary, crypto adjacent, if you will. But Gensler also hinted that both the SEC and CFTC would benefit from help from Congress in regards to regulation and enforcement of stablecoins. However, according to the SEC chair, the laws currently in place are seemingly broad when it comes to handling a modern financial instrument like crypto. He's quoted as saying, I do really fear that we'll keep bringing these enforcement cases, but there's going to be a problem. There's going to be a problem on lending platforms, on trading platforms. Frankly, when that happens, I think a lot of people are going to get hurt. Now, Gensler right here is using the old, I'm just trying to protect everybody from not getting hurt. All right, here's the deal. I partially agree. The only real way everybody will get hurt, 2 ways. And that's one, if the trading platform and these lending, if all these platforms, which most of them are doing grimy stuff like basically trading against their own customer, which again is not legal for them to do right now. What I mean is, on some of these exchanges, we already say, if you're trying to go 100x and you have a lot of Bitcoin, you try to go 100x and all your indicators and everything is pointing that this price right now in the next couple minutes, 30 seconds should be going up, and it starts aggressively dipping, that's probably the exchange trading against you. It's an algorithm that got activated because the amount you had and the type of trade you were doing, and the exchange was like, oh, hell no. Like the casino, you're not about to beat the house, right? So when it's doing stuff like that, or wash trading, wash volume trading, all that stuff, okay, that can be hurtful. And the second thing is exit scams, rug pulls. If an exchange just dips out with everyone's money. So those are the 2 ways I do think everyone could be hurt, and it could be these big issues. So I do think if you're saying you're bringing enforcement cases against exchanges and platforms that large, okay, I get what you're saying. But as far as people normally getting hurt, no. And the reason why I know is because each individual has their own trading and whatever, investing, whatever you want to call it. Everyone has their own cryptocurrency strategy. Some people are only buying Bitcoin to hold, to give to their grandchildren. Some people are trading. Some people, I typed an email about this someone the other day. Some people are farming. Some people are doing collateralized loans. Some people are mining. Like, it's so much NFTs. Like, I could go on and on. There's so much going on in this market. It brings a smile to my face. But so to say people are going to get hurt, like, no. Will people learn how to trade? Yes. Will they learn the hard way? Yes. Will they try to margin 30x and lose their shirt? Yeah. Will some people lose their homes? Yes. That's not people getting hurt. That's people being greedy or trying to do things they haven't taught themselves to do properly. So I don't think that people are going to get hurt in that space. I do get why he's saying that, because again, you learn this in the military. Whenever you're asking for resources or you're speaking, especially to the political side who give out the money, like Congress and all this other stuff, you always ask for more. You like, everyone in the military knows that. If you need 2, you ask for 5 to 7. Like, you don't ask for 3, you don't ask for 2, because you already know what time it is. So to me, this is Gensler saying, like, I could keep it real with Congress and be like, hey, we could do this, but we need you guys' help because it kind of falls out of our purview, and we need more resources. And by the way, we really need to go after these platforms that are going to hurt everybody. Like, we go after these platforms. He can't just say normal. He got to be like, hey, a lot of people are going to get hurt. Like, we're going to lose a lot of money. We can't control. Like, he has to make it seem like the big scary monster under the bed so that Congress can activate and say, all right, we need to fund these people. We need to give them the reach. Like, if you just come normal, like, oh, everything's cool. Like, I don't know, like, maybe then they're going to be like, well, it's not that big of a deal. Let's push this funding somewhere else. So he has a method to his madness when he's doing that. But also, I want to point out the SEC just said it with Gary Gensler reaching out to Congress. Also want to point out this CFTC article really quick, where they essentially said the same thing. CFTC commissioner, agency doesn't have enforcement resources without Congress. We're not necessarily looking for more authority without more resources, said Dan Berkovitz in regards to crypto markets. You know what? I want to give a hand clap to Gary Gensler, the SEC chair, and CFTC Commissioner Dan Berkovich. Hand clap for both of you. I'm serious. This is a real hand clap. And this is the reason why. First, a hand clap for you all recognizing you've already lost the war on Bitcoin and most of cryptocurrency. You recognize that. You understand, all right, we lost this shit. It's happened. Now what you guys are trying to do is say, you're trying to do the right thing, actually. First of all, they put a pause and not only say, I won't say they're saying we're losing, we're behind, we lost. But instead of just pushing forward to try to sue every company out there and go after everything, they're actually pushing the pause button right now, as they should be doing. Since they weren't voted in that position, they should push the pause button and say, hey, Congress, you all need to decide and come up with clear guidance and clear everything on how you like us to proceed. Why should Congress do it? Because you're the ones who's actually voted in. You're the ones who have constituents and that people actually talk to you, not just the 10 bankers that are talking to the SEC and CFTC. And I guarantee you that's probably why they're going back to Congress, because when you're in these positions where you have a conflict of interest, you can't, like, the bankers, Wall Street is the client for regulators. That is their client. Because again, when you talk about regulating some of these spots, I've never said anything. I know most of our warriors haven't said anything. So who are the people that keep calling up the CFTC and the SEC chair, mommy and daddy, crying and screaming? Now, we know it's more than just the Hexicans. We know they already called them up because of CoinMarketCap and they're trying to sue or something. I don't know. We know they called up mommy and daddy government, but also the Wall Street bankers are doing the same thing. Like, those are the people who have the lines to the SEC and CFTC. So instead of the CFTC chair and the SEC chair or commissioner, excuse me, instead of them going back to their clients, the bankers, and saying, like, stop asking me to do this, stop doing it, like, stop, like, I can't do this, I can't prosecute this, like, you're putting me in a bad spot. We saw it on the show Billions. We saw it on the show Billions when the regulators start actually working with the billionaire. He had to start pushing back, like, bro, you asked me to do like a lot of illegal shit right now. I guarantee you that's what's happening there too. But instead of the SEC chair and the CFTC commissioner pushing back to those bankers, those powerful billionaires, instead they're making it public, saying, hey, we need Congress, up to you all, your constituents and your voters, as it should be. So I'm actually with the CFTC commissioner and the SEC chair. This is the way it's supposed to be. They should not be the ones dictating to the United States what we're doing in crypto markets. That's ridiculous. They should be getting these resources and this information from Congress and then moving forward. So I am glad to see Dan Berkovich and Gary Gensler actually push back and reach back out to Congress publicly to say, hey, this one's on you. Again, speaking at the Managed Funds Association Digital Assets Conference on Tuesday, Berkovich said the Commodities Future Trading Commission, or CFTC, enforcement actions in the crypto space have been, quote, aggressive. People, you got to know how to double speak. You don't use the word aggressive when you've been ordered to do something. So he's saying they've been aggressive. So he's already saying, like, he's passively aggressively saying, I don't fully agree. They've been aggressive, citing a $100 million civil monetary penalty. The reason why I'm telling you these words, again, I did PR for the military. I know how this works. If he didn't have any contentious thoughts when it came to this, he wouldn't have said aggressive. He would have said something like, we've been assertive, right? Like, we've been on top of this. We're doing very well. We're doing just right. We're doing just the right amount, right? Because 100 million, I guarantee you, to the people who told him to do that, it's just the right amount. That's what we should have done, if not more. But to him, he's saying this is aggressive. So he's kind of pushing back against it, citing a $100 million civil monetary penalty against derivatives exchange BitMEX. Of course, shout out to Arthur Hayes, the CEO. Wonder why he got that $100 million fine. Though he said the agency had the capability and the expertise to further regulate crypto assets, it was currently unable to do so due to a resource issue. Again, people, I worked supply in the military for a minute. I did PR. I know the word speak. You never say you're not ready, right? So whenever you need resources in the military, you reach out to whoever, we need more than this, that. They're going to push back because of funding. It's always funding, never enough money and resources. They're going to push back and say something along the lines of, do we need to replace you? Can you not do the job? Because this is what we have to do the job. Is it a you thing? Your response, no. You're always ready to go. You're always ready to fight. You're always ready to do your job. You're always ready to do whatever you need. You're never at a disadvantage, no matter if you have the resources or not. You are always ready, point blank, period. So I say that because he's essentially saying the same thing. He's like, hey, we need some help, or we need y'all to do this, or we need more resources. And they're coming back like, well, why? And he's like, well, no, we got the capability and expertise, but this is research. It's a resource thing. again, I played this ping pong game before. I fully understand it. And that's what's going on here. So again, he's being quoted as saying, if Congress were to determine that, and again, people, the United States, we don't teach our leaders to do this in government. You never say, well, these people would do it or them. You do that when you're trying to pass the buck off. When you don't want to pass the buck off, as you've been instructed to do, you take full accountability, which he is not doing. He's saying if Congress were to determine that our jurisdiction should be expanded to somehow regulate the cash market, we would really need additional resources to do that, said Berkovich. Cryptocurrency markets, we're not necessarily looking for more authority without more resources. We're staying in our lane. Again, this is coming from the commissioner of the CFTC and the SEC this same day. Hand clap for you guys, finally being in unison. I think I know the real reason why you're pushing back, and that's probably because half the people at the CFTC and SEC probably owns cryptocurrency and Bitcoin. I think that's a primary reason. I think some of the people in their own household even owns it, because now we are getting to the point where you're trying to educate. For one, it's federal jobs, people, SEC and CFTC, maybe the tops are getting paid a lot. Bottoms and mids are working class adult civilians, citizens of America. Like, this is working class people. Clock in every day, 9 to 5, 8 to 5, 8 to 6. If you're in the DMV area, you're sitting in an hour and a half of traffic to go work for the CFTC, SEC. If you're in New York, you're sitting an hour and a half traffic to go work for them, or whatever. Like, it's not a glamorous job. It's a regular office job with regular people working it. And you tell me, you're meaning to tell me you've been trying to regulate a market that is exploding. You have regular people working there, learning about this market, watching it explode, and you don't think no one from the CFTC or SEC is involved in cryptocurrency? Highly unlikely. What's probably going on is it's getting to the point where water cooler talk is which coin are you invested in. You can't have water cooler talk at the SEC and CFTC of I'm on BlockFi, I'm investing in this, and I'm doing that at the same time you're trying to regulate it. Especially at the same time, you have billionaires probably calling your phone. And here's the thing, if I was a billionaire, I'm going to have the SEC and CFTC's phone. If I'm a billionaire in the financial market or in crypto, I'm going to have both their phone numbers. I'm gonna have their cell phone numbers and their home address. If they don't pick up the phone, I'm pulling up. Nobody gonna hurt a regulator. I'm gonna pull up to talk to them. I'm a billionaire. We about to come talk money. Like, what's going on? I'll pull up at 3 a.m. and go talk to them if I'm a billionaire. Like, are you crazy? So I know it's happening. And again, instead of them fighting back the billionaires or even pissing off the people that work for them, they're going to Congress. They're like, hey, you know what? Y'all been wanting to regulate the market? Well, pay us. Give us resources. We know how to teach and train people to do this. It's just a different market. Give us the resources, we'll move forward. So I think right now, this is looking good. And again, Berkovich even noted there was a lot of coordination between the agency, the SEC, FinCEN, Federal Reserve, Office of Controller, Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, and Department of the Treasury. Now, I will say, I don't like all of this. I've never liked the Federal Reserve, a private company, being involved in all this, but it is what it is. But I am happy to see that they all finally got together and said, no, the buck stops here, whether because people are calling them, they have people on their team in the space, or whatever reason, but they all finally got together and said, we're putting a pause on this thing until Congress move forward. So I think that's the next thing we're going to be waiting on, what's going to happen with the Biden administration and what Congress is going to do. But right now, people go crazy. This is what I'm saying. These are bullish sentiments. They basically just came out and said, until we get resources and the go ahead from Congress, we're not doing nothing, at least to smaller companies. And they cited that 100 million thing against BitMEX as aggressive. They are reeling it in. People, go. It's go time. It's go time. Make those trades and transactions you're going to do. Keep that VP on. But to me, this is a bullish indicator of going crazy in the market. One thing, like one of the reasons we used to always talk about Trump, we know a lot of people didn't like him and all that other stuff was going. Personally, I can care less about any side of the fence because I just do my own thing. But for smaller markets and tech markets like crypto, he wasn't paying attention. Like, by and large, they weren't paying attention. So you could go crazy and do what you want as a business in order to help your business grow. So these are the times you definitely want, if you're a business person or you're an entrepreneur, or you're in this market, you want to take advantage of these moments to increase your portfolio. I would say make sure you keep some money to the side for a lawyer or something in the future, but these are the moments. The SEC and CFTC come out the same day and say, we're not doing nothing with crypto. To Congress say something. What? Listen, if you don't get in the market and go crazy, this is the moment to do it. Let's see. Wayne Hill says, same goes for pitching investor capital. Ask for way more than you need because projects always run over initial price. Oh man, learned that the hard way in Bitcoin. Zay and I got together. Oh man, we thought we had enough capital. You never know because you go into a bull market or some bear market for 2 years, right? Seba Brown said, Seba, excuse me, says, speak on it. People forget the importance of why Bitcoin is paramount for the people of the world. It is designed to level the playing field for the average man. Continue the fight for equality. Exactly. Here's my thing. It's one of those things where why are you mad about people transferring value? That's all it is. As Sovereign CEO said, Yago said, it gives you inherent property rights. It gives you the value to your property rights. So why are you mad because people can have their own value without a third party? That should tell you everything you need to know about these psychotic people in charge, A, and B, this is why it might be unlawful, just as it was unlawful for a colored person to ride in front of the bus in the United States one day, just like that was unlawful. While things may be unlawful, like that doesn't mean they're immoral or technically illegal. So as far as like Bitcoin being Bitcoin and not interacting with regulations and government, I'm going to keep being for that. I suggest everyone keep being for it because you're not doing anything wrong. You are literally downloading software and using the software because you deem it valuable. And you have another human being saying, no, that software isn't valuable. And then you convince them that it's valuable. And then they say, fine, it's valuable. And I want some of it from you now. And this is what? What do you like? Really listen to this, people? Like, you're a student at school. I'll pull up on you. You telling me you wearing these new J's. I'm like, these J's is fake, bro. They're not worth nothing. These are fake J's. And then it comes to find out they are fake J's, but it's a market for them. Or maybe Michael Jordan actually signed them himself. And all of a sudden these fake J's is worth 100K. What would I look like coming back the next day being like, oh, them fake J's I hate on that's worth 100K? Yeah, I'm gonna need 40K of that now. Or I'm gonna need 60K right now for them fake J's because this is a market. I didn't know it, but it's a market. What? What are you talking about? Like, this is crazy. But gang, I'm with it though. I'm not even mad. Like, that's what's so cool about a gang, people. You get to do what you want. Yeah, level 99 slacker said Trump called crypto a scam. That's what I'm saying. This is perfect when he did that because they don't pay attention to scammers. You know what I'm saying? Too much for you, okay? I'm actually with you on that too. I think this is more, it's probably, I mean, it's definitely a money play. Too much for you, okay, said, no, speaking about SEC and CFTC, saying he coordinated with them and found out that he has the lowest budget out of all the agencies. You are right. Whenever in the military, we got together and found out what other departments was getting, whoa, y'all got what? For what? Oh, hell no, I'm about to put in, listen, hey, I'm about to put in proposal that we got this old equipment in here and stuff don't work no more. So yeah, I'm with you on that one. If whenever different departments find out who's making what, they always go back like, oh, hell no, you need to push some of that this way. Let's see. PFC will say more regulators and CEOs will do things to destroy public trust. I'm starting the trustless decade. This is how people will see things at the 2030. I'm actually with that. That's pretty cool. Is it Wednesday? I probably said Tuesday. Good morning, crypto warriors, and welcome to the back to the Jump into Crypto. Today is Wednesday, September 22nd, 2021, and I'm King. Listen, this is what happens when you live in a good life. You don't know what day is which half the time, all right? Last story, but certainly not least, 76ers become second NBA team to ink crypto ad patch deal. That's right, the Philadelphia team will sport the Crypto.com logo on his jersey starting this season. You can see it right here. I mean, shout out to Crypto.com, aka Monaco. That's what they actually came out as, Monaco, before they rebranded. Survived the bear market. Not hard to do when you had 100 M's stacked up from the original plan. But this rebrand has been amazing. I mean, they literally sponsor all of UFC, which inked a multi-billion-dollar deal with ESPN. So amazing. And now they're jumping into the NBA sector. I mean, can you imagine that? The Philadelphia 76ers versus Miami Heat at the FTX Arena with Philadelphia 76ers having Crypto.com on their jersey. That is crazy, people. We are here in the mainstream to stay. Everyone will find out about crypto before it's over and said and done. Actually, in Crypto.com, it'll be interesting to see how they kind of move forward with their business because I know they're trying to do, again, I'm not really on crypto.com, so I don't know everything they offer, what resources, but I thought they were trying to do the lending thing or essentially for a moment. And the slippery slope with lending is also, they might say the same thing with staking in some sense, in some respects, because of the APYs on those. So again, I know crypto.com is doing a lot of that, but they're sponsoring the Philadelphia 76ers when the National Basketball Association season starts next month. Not one, but two teams will be wearing crypto-related ad patches. The Philadelphia 76ers announced Wednesday, today is Wednesday, that crypto.com's logo will be emblazoned on all team uniforms. The Sixers joined the Portland Trail Blazers, which inked a deal with crypto e-commerce site StormX earlier this year. Again, it's crazy to see. It's happening everywhere. I just saw that NBA Top Shots received a $2-something billion valuation after getting a new funding round of $250 million. So again, all things crypto and sports are full speed ahead, and it's looking really good. So I'm really happy to see all that stuff happening. All right, let's see. Other than that, that is the show for today. Looking at a couple quick comments. Bohemian Gardens, hold down the solo show. Great insight, much appreciated. Leroy Forbes, everybody in the crypto space ain't your homie. Gotta learn the difference between pirates and privateers. Exactly. Let's see. Crypto Beard said about every salty politician and banker. You already know it. Let's see. Roland Wishers, didn't they show the Fed like Powell owned crypto? They definitely have a few bags. Exactly, people. There's no way in hell you got a whole department of people that work for U.S. government learning about an asset that is spiking in price and not investing in that asset. When you know, like, another thing, when you work for the government, you know what you're gonna get every 1st and 15th, right? Like, you get the same check. I remember them days you get the exact same check, you know how much you make it. Like, people definitely invest in that. All right, other than that, that is the show for the day. Of course, this show was sponsored by Crypto Vantage. Go.cryptovantage.com/gentleman of tech crypto, where you have 21 days left to sign up for your chance to win a hardware wallet and $1,500, $1,000, or $500 to invest in crypto. Again, I am truly hoping one of our warriors get this. It'll be really cool to see one of you all get this. It's 8 ways to enter. One you should have already done by signing up for that weekly newsletter we are promoting. And there's 7 other ways by checking out their website or going to their social media channels or actually sharing with your friends for extra entries. Again, 21 days left on that Crypto Vantage wallet giveaway contest. Other than that, that is the show for the day. I know I went long today, but I just wanted to, hey, I keep telling y'all, we're going to do this. We talk crypto every day regardless. I tell you, and Zay's in New York today, running around busy, so I didn't get a chance to talk to him. So you all are my Zay today. Make sure you smash that like and share. Check out our masterclass as well if you're still interested in learning everything A to Z.